I am hearing a little bit of that abandonment. So maybe, again, it's a collective. So I'm hearing two things. For some of you, it's going to be a specific person that disappointed you, specific friend, soul sister. For some of you, it's going to be that you would try to form certain communities, maybe build something with someone, right? Connect to other people who are going through the same thing, right? Who are also like spiritual, awakened, and you got really disappointed. And I feel it's triggered many things within you. So thinking about maybe some sort of a codependency, some sort of a questions. Why was I really seeking for that? Watch the previous part so it makes sense. But I feel like you would also realize that there's so many people who form, and I don't want to be mean here, right? Because I know that there are certain communities, spiritual communities of people that really support each other, right? That really they are there for each other, and that carry some sort of a benefit. But you guys, such a majority of it is just really so shallow and so superficial and so just not spiritual. So maybe you try to be a part of certain community or form certain community, right? It's like there are people online that sometimes try to pull you into these groups on like Facebook or groups on other platforms, like, oh, I'm spiritual, I'm starting this group, and we're going to be supporting each other, we're going to be talking about things. And once you join this community, you realize that all they do is just like promote their shit and their products and their services, which is fine. If you form these communities, you can of course also tell people about you. But why are we here? Is this an ad channel, or are we supposed to support each other? There's a reason it's coming to my mind. It's like, I feel like you've realized at one point that there's so many people that are promoting themselves as spiritual, but when you're really trying to connect to them, it's just like all this very superficial, like, what you do, and this is what I do. It's like, when we are truly, this is why I always say to you guys that true divine feminines, we're very spiritually, energetically selective. We're gonna have one friend or two friends, right? Because when you're truly spiritual, you only want to go deep. And obviously sometimes we connect, we talk about, our careers, what is it that we do, but I feel like it would, with the right collective, it would resonate. Like you would realize right now that maybe you've been trying so hard, but you've always felt rejected, but it was for a reason, because you're not meant to form communities. You're not to be part of communities. You're a leader. You're a lone wolf. You're here to show people how to make better choices in life, how to release the shackles of their wounds, not just to have a community of like 15 ladies to do some cacao ceremony on a weekly basis and like pull an oracle card and like do some crying and hug each other. Listen, I'm not being judgmental, right? I'm not being judgmental, because I understand that when we look at 90% of human population, 90% of people will never reach true awakening, right? And those 10% that will, 5 of that 10% are truly awakened people, and the other 5 are people who are spiritually aware, who really want to change, who really want to transform, right? But it's like 85-90%, they're in denial. But in that 80-90%, it's a spectrum, right? So some of these people do want to make some changes. It's just they're not going to be ready to dedicate their entire life and their entire existence to do these changes. So in which case, it's absolutely okay to form communities that, once a week, we're going to sit down together, hold each other's hands, right? And have some cacao, and it's absolutely fine. But when you want realness, rawness, when you really want to work through all your wounds, when you are that divine feminine, when you are part of that 10%, this shit ain't for you. Really, truly. All right, need I say more? This is how this beautiful divine feminine. But I'm really proud of you. I feel like I feel like this is a graduation of an alone wolf. Really. I feel like this is going to be the title of my reading. I'm getting chills. Like graduation of an alone wolf, okay? Because you've graduated. At this point, you know who you are. You know very well your mission, right? You know that you're not here to be part of a community, and your job is not going to be to have a little bit of cacao and do some yoga once a week and talk about, karmic boyfriends. You are really here to transform, and you are here to really, I'm sensing kindred spirit. You're probably like me, harsh messages just like boom, 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 because you're not here to be liked. You're not here to be liked. You're not here. I always say this when I talk about these things. What did Steve Jobs say? If you want to be liked, become an ice cream seller. We are healers. We are here to shake people. We are here to create towers into their lives, to trigger them, to upset them, so they cannot sleep for weeks and they're thinking, wow, how could she say this to me? How could she say this to me? And then maybe it will get to them that it wasn't she, it was you. It was you all along. There is no sorcerer that can make you feel a certain way. It's you. The feeling is within you. So why do you feel the way you feel? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. My kind of tribe. All right, we can be friends now. Let's see, how's your masculine doing? How's your masculine doing? How's your masculine doing? That lucky bastard that's attached to this magical woman. How is he doing? What's his energy? The Empress. The Empress. I'm hearing healing heart. I'm healing his heart. Maybe he is connected now a little bit more to his feminine energy. Opening his heart. Look at her. Her, was this like a cloak or like a robe? How would you call this? Like it's all open and there's this really shining heart. The whole universe resides within you. I'm hearing. Let's do 3 more for his first row. Whoop! Ooh. Alright, 2 more. I'm hearing my 20 song. I wanna run to you, but if I come to you, tell me. Alright, we have Knight of Voices. But you know what? I'm actually, usually my Knight of Voices, right? It usually, to me, the first thing especially when we're doing divine and or love readings, it is the need to communicate, the need to speak to your counterpart, to speak to your person. But for this one, I actually feel that this is bigger than that. I feel like I'm hearing that he is gaining his voice. You know that I always say this to you guys, we're always connected, we always work together, one chakra system, one consciousness, teamwork, whatever one does, the other one benefits from. We do the soul healing, they do the karma clearing and healing, right? So we work in team. We are the dream team. Excuse my hair, you know me, I'm always like, I don't know what to do with this. Sorry. Anywho, so maybe the deep work that you've been doing that really, because you like released the shackles, like this emotional liberation, like knowing who you are and what you want in life right now, right? So I feel like you would send this energy towards him, and I'm hearing that he's standing up for himself, that he's gaining voice, that what I'm hearing with these 2 cards, it's actually very beautiful. Sometimes we feel that this is what the stupid society tells us, right? That when we are disconnected from our hearts and connected to our logic, right? We can really then be more articulate and we can really... Bollocks, nonsense. If you're not speaking from the heart, you're speaking rubbish and nobody cares. In order for you to really speak messages that are of value, that will change this world, that really mean anything, you have to be speaking from the place of your heart, from the place of your inner truth. And I feel like he is starting to understand that. He's like connecting the dots. He's like thinking, okay, this is weird. Like I opened my heart and I started speaking in a more vulnerable and a more open way. And it's like now I'm really gaining my voice. I feel like for the both of you, not having your voice would have been an issue, would have been a karmic issue. Maybe for a very long time, it probably reaches like past lifetimes, but maybe even in this lives, one of your shadows, both of your shadows was like you didn't have a voice. You didn't feel like you can change anything by speaking. Like you're speaking and you're speaking and people are not listening. But you guys, when we heal, we start to realize that our job is to speak, is not to force people to listen. Who cares? And I say this to you guys all the time. I am here every day for you guys with an hour or an hour and a half reading of my beautiful channeled knowledge, right and straight from the divine. And whoever wants to listen, it is none of my business. It is none of my problem. I know that 90% of people will never listen and will probably think that I'm crazy. I don't care. This it happens when you really connect to your heart and connect to your mission. When people don't listen, if we stop to speak because they don't listen, it's because we don't understand our mission, right? We're here to yell, to scream until someone, maybe one person, will be willing to listen. There's something about your voice for this collective, for the both of you as a pairing. You will have incredibly important messages of truth. And I feel it may be different because they're showing me a variety of things. So some of you may become, spiritual teachers like myself and create platforms. Some of you may actually become activists and have podcasts and platforms about, variety of, important confirmation. Voice. You're going to have a voice in this world. And he's learning right now that it has to be filtered through a healed heart. We have justice and we have the sun. I am liking this energy. I am hearing with this justice a bit of a balancing, but also liberation from some sort of a karmic shackles, to be honest. But there is some level of illumination. So he's not there yet probably when it comes to like fully, oof, I just had this sharp pain like in my rib. Sign. Maybe he had a little injury, some of the masculines. But there is some sort of an illumination. So I wouldn't say, what was I saying before I was so rudely interrupted by the sharp pain? That I'm not hearing that he would be in a place of like this crystal clear, this is my mission, where you are, right? So he's gonna need a little bit of time, but he's understanding how through his voice, again, filtered through his heart, he can really change certain things. He can really, maybe the justice is the justice I just heard, the actual justice system. So maybe he works in, I'm not saying, directly like as a lawyer or like, but maybe something related, something that helps, like some sort of a social worker or some sort of a truth seeker, whoever helps people to find justice. Right. It's like he would start to realize that it's not just logic. It cannot ever be just logic if you're really going to be seeking for truth. You guys, you are one powerful collective. Power couple one-on-one. People who change the world, the livers. The livers, the heart. It's the heart. It's the frequency of love. High Priestess. Shit. Muse of Emotions. Dude. I mean, this is his energy. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Full of inspirations! You guys. to be honest, if union is not behind the corner, I don't feel like at this point you will really care. I mean, we always want it, but I feel this collective at this point, you're so excited about your mission. True divine feminine. But what was I about to say? If union is not about the corner, around the corner, it's just because you really have powerful missions and there are certain things that need to be recalibrated and completed. But this collective, the level of maturity, you would really be in this state of like, I trust in the divine. The how and the when is none of my business, right? I know it's going to come to me just exactly when it's ripe. Not too soon, not too late. But this masculine, look at the major arcanas he has. The lovers, the high priestess, the sun, the empress, muse of emotions. You are not, when we're in separation, right, we on some level remember, well, yes, we constantly connect to his higher self, to his energy, to his energetic imprint from in this lifetime, right? So it's like we know where they are, more or less, we know their progress. But on some level, because we are humans, we do remember the version of them from years ago when we last saw them, when we last spoke with them. I feel like this collective, when you're going to see your masculine, you're going to believe what you're saying. He's not going to believe what he's saying either. But it's like, you know what I always say, to us it's always a surprise, because for our masculines, we usually have some sort of a presence, platform, we talk about certain things, right? So it's part of our mission to be out there for people, to try make them listen and understand, right? So they have access to us. They usually watch us. They usually, they usually follow us, or from fake accounts, or but they have their ways, right? They usually connected to us, but we don't. They're like under deepest rock, right? We don't know where they are, what they do, and what's going on. Usually for most part. So when we return to each other, it's like, damn. Hello. I'm liking what I'm seeing, because you've released the shackles. He is being guided by his higher self. It's really being illuminated to him that he has a path, that he has a voice, that the frequency of love, that without that frequency of love, maybe he has been for a very long time disconnected. And maybe I'm hearing that some of these masculines, they may have actually been doing what will be part of their mission, right? So let's say the part of his mission is to be a lawyer and fight for human rights, whatever, right? Just an example. Maybe he actually already is that lawyer and does this. It's just that he was completely disconnected from his heart, and he was doing it all wrong. I'm seeing this scene in Pretty Woman. If you have not watched Pretty Woman, please leave my channel, okay? So I'm not even going to ask, have you seen this movie? Who have not seen this movie? Okay, so remember that scene in Pretty Woman when he really is coming into realizations, and from the scold, right, because she's opened his heart, so he's about to, right, like buy the company of this, older gentleman. It's like who's had this company like from his, like, I don't know, like grandfather or whatever, and he's there with his grandson. It's like a family legacy, right? And he just turns around. He's like, we're going to be doing the same thing. It's just like, we're going to be building ships together. I'm not going to buy your company. I'm going to help you. I'm going to invest in you, right? It's that kind of a moment. It's this shit, I've been doing it all wrong. He's gained emotional maturity. He's reaching inner union. You would already be there. All right. We have 8 of emotions at the bottom of the deck. 8. Maybe that's important. 8 of the 8. 12 of the 8 as well. I'm hearing. Let's see where he is. Our beautiful masculine. Who is this divine masculine? Who is this divine masculine? He knows he's supposed to be that. It's like when they watch us in the beginning, it's very different for every pairing, right? Because if you think about this, like from a reasonable point of view, feminines who divine feminines on twin flame journey, right? So who are like myself. So our mission is really tied to divine love and twin flames, right? So, and remember, I always say this, out of all divine feminists on a twin flame journey, maybe 5% of us will really be meant to talk about twin flames. The rest, you got to do something else. You got to address other issues in this world, right? You got to work with people. You got to be activists. You got to be artists. You got to be healers, right? We cannot all do it all because it wouldn't make sense. We're creating healers here, right? We got to get out there to this world. But it's really different also. It influences very much the road of our masculine, because if a masculine is connected to a feminine who talks about twin flames, he freaking knows everything about this journey, right? Because he's connected to the oracle who receives downloads about this journey, right? But everything makes sense on this journey. So it only means that he's going to need that information, because maybe on some level he also will be working on a level of the heart and with love or whatever that is, right? It's somehow, it makes sense. It always makes sense. We might not understand it, but we cannot question the infinite wisdom of the universe, right? So they usually know more about these things, right? Our masculines. But if your mission is something completely different, you've been talking about different things, right? And you've been like spreading different messages, there's a moment on their journey, like they start to ask themselves, like, I've heard this term, I've heard this, who is this divine masculine? Who is this divine? Who am I supposed to be? Who am I supposed to become, right? So maybe he's doing a little bit of a research. I just heard, it's funny because we mentioned in your part that it's like you're really here to lead and you're not here to build communities. You guys, I wouldn't be, it might be a detail just for some of your masculines, but I wouldn't be surprised if your masculine would one part of his path would be to build communities of men. Because they were showing me like someone like really following the divine masculine man. They were showing me this influencer, what's his last name? Danny. It's Danny something. It's like he has, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anyone, but he looks kind of Latin American. I'm pretty sure he's from the US. But the heritage of the lineage of this body that he resides in right now, it looks a bit of a, right? Like a dark hair, and he true divine masculine, he talks about, love and union, and he's like super famous, got millions of followers. You probably know who I'm talking about. But they were showing me him, so maybe he started to follow other men who are really connected, because that Danny person, I'm sorry, I don't remember his last name, but he talks a lot about men being disconnected from their hearts being the problem, that women also raising men disconnected from their hearts, right? So maybe he understands. You guys, forming communities for men, it's incredibly important. And I feel like it's even more important than for us women, because we have this sort of a lone wolf. We are the creatrix, right? So we're the force of the chaos. We handle solitude truly better. Really, really. Those of us who are in a union, whereas men really need, because they build together. They build together. They build this physical world together. So he would be thinking the pillars of divine masculine are truth, community, loyalty. I feel like he's learning. Dark night of the soul. One more. You guys. Open your heart. He is opening his heart. He is opening his heart right now. He's understanding that he had it all wrong. That you don't live life if your heart is locked. To heal your heart, it changes your existence into true life, where you thrive in life, you gotta open your heart. Most people, unfortunately, on this world, they have their hearts locked. In an open heart, what lives in an open heart is unconditional love to all, forgiveness, kindness, compassion, empathy, understanding. There is no place in an open, healed heart for judgment, for resentment, for grief, for sadness, for pain, comparison, anger, rage. How many people in this world, they're constantly angry, they're constantly comparing, they're constantly judging, they're constantly unhealed hearts. A bunch of people with unhealed hearts. He's going to open hearts of so many. Dark night of the soul. So maybe he has, as you have been going through your ascension, he may have been going through dark night of the soul. It may have been something that really, pushed him to really open his heart, start speaking his truth. So it's usually powerful thing. And the dark night of the soul is a painful yet very necessary process in our spiritual awakening. Your soul is going through a complete and deep purification. You may be receiving downloads, visions, painful memories, remembrance of your mistakes. You're being thrown into the hell of your darkest shadows to heal and surrender to the divine. And I am the problem. You guys know that I love this card because it means that he understands. What did I say to you in the beginning when I was rambling and channeling about people not understanding, not seeing, just judging, like pointing fingers? He now understands that if you feel, it's because you have this feeling within you. No one has the power. My ring. The single ladies. My ears just started ringing. I was just saying something, but I don't like to say these things in the collective. I don't like to. You're gonna be surprised. You don't have to know it all. But he understands now why he was fearing love, because he had locked heart. And it was his problem. It wasn't a problem of love. It wasn't a problem of people. We do not have power to make anyone feel any way. Ever. It's always us. It's always us. This collective. I love you. You're magic. Both of you. Alright. Anywho, you guys, you are magic. You are magic. And I love you so incredibly much. And yeah, that's it. Bye.